Okay, so welcome. Happy Sunday, guys. I can't believe it. We're flying through August already. It's August 12th. Craziness. All right. So I'm really excited for this call. Um, this is kind of a topic I wasn't expecting to talk about, but something that I feel like I've become more and more passionate about over this last year, especially as I've just learned and gotten more in tune with my own health and wellness journey. So I'm really excited to share a lot of this, my own journey with our superfoods, but also to kind of shed some light onto you guys that are newer, or maybe you've ever like wondered kind of like, oh man, that money, like, is it worth it? My answer to you is 100% yes. So I'm going to just dive right in because I kind of want to just shed some light on where I was at before Beachbody. So if you guys have heard my story, I actually did Insanity way back before I ever knew Beachbody existed. I did it when I was living abroad in Saipan, and I completed the full Insanity program. And I remember like looking like, oh, he's like, my boyfriend at the time was like, oh yeah, and there's like meal plan and all this stuff. And I was like, I looked at it, I remember seeing like the color coding and all this other stuff. And it talked about Shakeology, and I was like, okay, no. Like well, clearly we're living abroad. I don't even know what this is. Like I was doing a Whole30 or Paleo at the time. And I was like, nope, I got this. I'm just going to do the workouts. And I did. That was my first actual transformation using a Beachbody program, was when I did Insanity. But like I've talked about a lot, I did lose some weight when I did that. I think I lost like 10 pounds that doing Insanity that first time around. But my health issues like didn't go away. Like I felt better because I was looking better, but I didn't feel better because I felt better, if that makes sense. And that struggle with like figuring out like how to eat better that was like my, what continued and followed me after coming home and settling and starting this new life and trying, falling back into like, my old fitness routine of like running and things. And I definitely had the mindset still of like, it's all about calories. And definitely like the restrictive mindset of like, less is more, and that I needed to cut out food groups. The whole Atkins or even with paleo, sometimes it's like, more protein, less carb, less grain, less like all of that, you know what I mean? Cut out dairy, which, I kind of do like for my own reasons, but, so I still had this restrictive mentality, and I wasn't balanced. Okay. So flash forward to when I was, invited to this thing, and what held me back was the price of Shakeology. Like my initial gut reaction at the thinking of the price was like, whoa, that's a large lump sum. Like for me, when I signed up, it was $200. And then, I knew that the next monthly recurrent, fee would be for the superfoods, which I was curious about. But, like everybody, like we all have heard this, or we've all thought it, like, oh my God, is that really worth it? Like, that's a lot of money. Which I kind of totally banked on the fact that, no, I'll try it, but I'm sure I'm not going to like it, and I'll just cancel my subscription. And that was completely not the case, which I think has been true for many of you once you've started drinking it. And the reason that is, you guys, what really like clicked for me was the fact that I was feeling better. Once I started, paying attention to what I was eating and, looking at this meal plan and understanding like there's nothing being cut out here. It's all just about the fact of like I'm not cutting food groups. I'm not, restricting myself. I'm actually eating more than I've ever eaten before. And the fact that like I was paying more attention to those things and understanding that, you know, and I was drinking Shakeology and I was feeling better and I was having more energy, and like my normal morning routine of literally like maybe grabbing a bar on the way to work or just not eating breakfast at all and just, you know, kind of snacking or starving it out till lunchtime, like drinking a coffee, an iced coffee on my way to work and that counting as my calories for the morning. Like that was me. And now I was actually like drinking Shakeology, you know, like I was starting my day with something, you know, full of nutrients that actually kept me full and full of energy, like, you know, up until like lunchtime, you know. And so that's kind of like where my mindset was at, you know, when I started Shakeology, and with Beachbody. So my mindset definitely, like I said, was not, I wasn't, it was all about what we all typically think about. It was like reading a label, and it was like low fat, low carb, you know, cut out carbs basically in your life is, you know, you're going to lose weight. And I think that's what a lot of programs, a lot of things out there, people are drawn to that because they want fast results. But what I really wanted, and I think most of you really want, is a lifestyle. You know, is a lifestyle that doesn't have to be restrictive, that is more about like you want to feel good, and you want to feel good in every way from the inside out. So it's definitely, for me, the shift, what that has happened over this year is quality over quantity. Okay, so it's the quality of food that you eat. It's the quality of what you're putting in your body that's more important than calories. All right, so starting with Shakeology, and I think this is what it, you know, real, like when because I asked myself the same questions, like, one, like, is this worth it? Two, can I afford it? Three, like, why am I drinking it? And so that caused me to become like more intuitive with what I was fueling my body with. All right. So I look at Shakeology because people ask me the same questions, you know, and coaching definitely has made me more of like a researcher, you know, like I don't, and I'm more aware than ever of like, you know, what I eat, how I eat, and like how I feel. And so I looked at Shakeology truly, and I was like, yes, if you look at the ingredients on Shakeology, there is not, it is literally superfoods and things all from all around the world that you would never get in your everyday diet. And as it is, you have to think and know and understand that the food we eat, even if you are a, you know, granola crunching, like vegan, whatever, like whatever you eat, even if you try really hard to eat really well, it doesn't matter. The state of like our vegetables and produce at this time, at this day and age, nutrients is extracted from that, you know, in that process. Like we just literally can't get all of the nutrients, you know, that we could have gotten like however many years ago. Okay. So much of what we eat is processed, even if it's minimal, even if it's like, you know, even if we're doing our best, the fact is you can't avoid that. So Shakeology really is filling in the gaps, and it's providing like those things that you just can't get, you know, in your everyday diet, no matter how much, you know, you're trying to do that. So like I said, so I, you know, way back when I was not, you know, I didn't know about this, you know, food plan or whatever. Like I didn't know about portion control. I didn't have Shakeology. I didn't have this community. Yes, I lost weight, but did I maintain it? No. I gained some of that back. And what I also, like I said, what I didn't, you know, I wasn't feeling good. I was still on that kind of that roller coaster ride of like trying to fuel myself to the best of my knowledge, but not really getting anywhere with it. And, you know, it was just sort of like that cycle that I was stuck on. So committing to Shakeology actually caused me to become more committed to my overall health and wellness journey, you know, because like anything in the beginning, you're establishing habits, you're establishing good habits. You know, you're creating a lifestyle, but that starts with day one. That starts with, you know, making a change and incorporating something and doing it over and over and over again. And that's, you know, what I did with Shakeology. I was already working out. It was the diet in, you know, incorporating superfoods into my daily regimen, that and causing that shift with my nutrition that really like brought it full circle for me. And then again later was adding in personal development. So it really just started this momentum with my health and wellness that, you know, like, okay, I'm going to not just fuel myself because I want, you know, to eat or whatever, like out of hunger, out of just, you know, just desire. I'm going to fuel myself to feel better. Okay. So that is what started to happen for me. So I actually, you know, just kind of want to go through some of the things that happened for me that maybe some of you already are experiencing or can relate to. I will just say this, like in the beginning, when I first started drinking it, I experienced what many of you probably already have experienced, and it's probably the number one, you know, I won't want to say objection, but something that I hear from people when they first start. Is that, you know, oh, I'm more gassy. Oh, like, you know, it really like kind of, I felt foggy for a few days, or, you know, I just, like, I don't, you feel kind of off. All right. It might upset your GI like right out the gate, especially if you don't eat. Like, it all depends on your diet. It depends on where you're starting from. I know for me, I felt kind of like I was going through a detox that first week. And I don't know how else to explain it, but I just did what my coach told me to do. I did what you know, I drank more water. I stuck with it. I just kept going with it. And you know what? Since then, I've had no issues. All right. Because I have, you know, you have to understand that it's new. It's so nutrient dense that of course it's going to be a shock to your system, especially if you're not already, like, depending on where you're coming from. If you're somebody that's going from eating, you know, Dunkin' or, you know, like mostly fast food or mostly processed food, and then you're all of a sudden you're starting to eat cleaner and you're drinking Shakeology, of course your system's going to be like shocked. Okay. So, you know, that's just something like what suggestions I've heard with that, is to start with a half scoop in the beginning, maybe that first few days. Do a half scoop, and then when you've gotten adjusted to that, then move up to the full scoop. Okay. That's definitely a suggestion I've heard out there that can help people get over that hump, especially like if for those of you who are just starting. Like I said earlier, more energy. I have always been a maybe 2 to 3 cupper coffee kind of girl. And as soon as I started drinking these superfoods, I pretty much like maybe will drink a cup of coffee here and there, like just because of I want to. But my need for coffee, my need for any of that in the morning, like in general, and like I will tell you, I average probably 5 to 6 hours of sleep every night. Not ideal, but that's just my life. And I have more energy than I ever did. And I'm hypothyroid. So if anyone of you has ever been that, you know, I was always the girl that would crash. We'd have a party in college, and I was the girl sneaking off to go to bed at 9 o'clock. Like, I just can't hang. Like, I have never been able to hang. Always felt tired throughout the day. Like, that has always been me. And that is completely 180 for me. Less craving. So, you know, I love my ice cream, but I don't crave sweets like I used to. Okay. I feel like I'm so much more in check with my cravings, and just in general, I just feel like I have more control. Like, I just don't crave it as much. You know, I think many of us are either nurses or in healthcare or just in general. I think most workplaces, because I was talking with my parents about this the other day, most places, like, we self-sabotage each other, like bringing in donuts and bringing in like cake and food like that. We just shouldn't do that to each other, because I think many people, you know, either that's what, you know, that's what we hear, right, is like you start out doing good on a diet, and then, you know, work is probably one of the worst places for you, because you go there and people are wanting you to eat their cookies that they made that day or whatever. And I can just say to you that being able to say no, or being able to walk through those break rooms and see all those things like has just become so much easier for me because one, I'm drinking something that, you know, is satisfying that craving pretty much every day, because I think of Shakeology as like an indulgence, like, because it is, for me. You know, I enjoy it. I make it, like, you guys seen my smoothie bowls and you've seen my superfood oats, like you've seen how, like, I make it worthwhile, and I, you know, I treat it like what it is, and I treat it of value. You know, had GERD. I was on GERD medication ever since I got home from Saipan 2 or 3 years ago, whenever that was. I immediately went on GERD medication. And I started to think to myself, oh my God, you know, you hear from patients of my, I heard from patients of saying, oh, they're all on omeprazole. I'm like, I'm on omeprazole. And then I started hearing about how it causes cancer and how there's all these other nasty side effects that can be caused by taking long-term, you know, acid inhibitors, or I forget, PPI. That's my nurse term right there. So I started drinking Shakeology. I have been off of that this whole year. I think it was only like a month or so in that I was able to go off that medication. And on top of that, I was taking a multivitamin and a probiotic before I started drinking Shakeology. I don't have to take any of that anymore. So literally, for me, Shakeology has replaced my need for anything, any supplementation, any need. I was considering switching all that and taking a prenatal vitamin. You know, I'm 29. I want to have kids sometime soon. I need to be taking folic acid and all these things. All of that is in Shakeology. I don't need a prenatal because I have all of that in Shakeology. You know, I have my hair. I went from having a pixie cut to having hair down to here, and that is all grown within the last year. Okay, before that, I was like stumped at, you know, whatever, mullet hair, right? I don't know what to call it, but it looked like mullet hair. So I definitely, like, before I jump into like the comparison thing, I just want you guys to know, like, I know we all are like label hungry, and I've been told many a times of people that have said, like, well, this shake has less sugar and this shake is certified organic and blah, blah, blah. Or this shake has 20 grams of protein versus the 16 or 17 grams of protein that Shakeology has. And I need you guys to understand that, like what I said, quality over quantity. You have to look at the fact that, you know, yes, maybe there is less sugar in that shake, but why? Why is there less sugar in that shake? Like, does it have more sucralose, or does it, I mean, you know, does it have more stevia in it, and therefore it's an artificial sweetener? Like, where is the sugar or lack of sugar that coming from? What fillers did they put into that shake in order to make that so? You know, so there isn't really any good comparison to Shakeology from my own research. And so for that, I'm going to kind of share with you something, if I can figure out here. Share screen. Yeah, share screen. Because, oh, I lost it. All right. This is my preparedness. I was asked or confronted, actually it was out of my own curiosity, because I will say I have a coworker who sells Advocare, and she one day, knowing that I was coaching, approached me about the fact, I mean, I never talked to her about this because I knew that she sold Advocare, and I just didn't want to go there with her, and because I, you know, secretly just was like, ugh. But she kind of engaged with me about it one day, and therefore I just felt compelled to kind of do a little research, because I just feel so strongly about, like, without even looking it up, I just have looked at my own, what is in Shako. Oh my God, I'm so sorry this is taking so long. I had them all ready to go. And so I did my own comparison. I can never get there. And I also, like, I don't know, like, I don't really pay attention to it unless it's to my like, I'm the girl who drank life for me, and she like wow for life, and I'm like, well, you know, good for you, but it doesn't have it. Or there's another life drink carbon, and I was like, okay, well, does it have pain for athletes? No. Oh, I think I was taking my archives, so I definitely don't. All is Googleable, by the way, if that's a word. You can Google all of this. I'm not sure. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. Come on. Actually, I have to. Alright. Give myself like 10 seconds if it's not, I'm just gonna. Okay. So, this research. And I just like that. Shake or think, no comment you guys or his name. Things might be different before Shakeology. So I really had to know those but when I know so it's a and whatever makes sense. And with this 3 times thing, it's like color because so a lot of people really that they have your parallel measure to Shakeology has slightly maybe more protein or something. But what I built into is looking at all the ingredients, you know, where it has all the Shakeology has. So it has cream, okay, it has the oxygen, the phytonutrients, the nutrients. It looks very something through and your own Shakeology, you see that there's really nothing ingredients is a flirt or not is artificial. It all like some stuff can't because it's actually like written low protein, like what this food actually is or whatever. But there is nothing artificial in Shakeology. There's you balance either they're like and pre-packs, okay, it has it doesn't have you know, it has artificial and then also look at the pre-packs and say what you should most of it. What do you and I look at and it shows you if you Google it, you'll start like why you replace 3 meals a day with this diet. It's just like everything that is important that is like okay, so I'm watching like something and whatever. If you look at it, right, 14 pounds is $6, so it doesn't have to be. This is another one where after she want you to drink multiple a day, right? I mean, like, you can't handle like 3 so it makes me angry. This is Herbalife. I think it's Herbalife. But when we share Herbal for Herbalife, then I saw, it's a less amount for whatever, and it's 2 per drink, and multi-day, and it doesn't have all of the stuff, like, nearly anything that she got in it. Okay, it's got 9 grams of sugar against personal, it's 10 grams of protein. So, protein to carb show, and there is carb. So, you want higher than sugar for equal amounts of protein. So, that's the model. And the second thing, I said, where's the sugar coming from? And where is protein? Where is fiber coming from? What is it? Is it this? Is there, you know, artificial things in there? So, that's for life. And I think that's what I have. Yeah. So, like, something like that, and like, oh, $7.99, that's for reality. But then you know how you're getting, and what's in it, okay, and how much are they expecting you to, you know, drink of it. So, all right, that's, I don't know if there's like one more. There might be. Oh, the Arbonne or something like that. Anyways, that's enough. You guys can Google like all of this. But my point of, how do I get rid of share? My point of showing you all this, oh, and there's like the prices of the oh God. How do I get back out of this? Stop share. There it is in my face. Okay. Yay! I did it. All right. So I kind of just wanted to show you guys that as a means to just sort of make a point, because I want you guys to I want you guys to value your health, and I want you guys to value like what it is that you're spending your money on. Like, I wouldn't ask anybody of this. I wouldn't invite you guys to this if I didn't believe in it and didn't experience it myself. And I would not at all be opposed or objected to you guys, you know, like wanting to not drink this if in my heart of hearts that I felt or believed that it wasn't going to serve you, because it is. And you know, I think if you value your nutrition, if you value your health, you're gonna see the value in Shakeology, and you're gonna believe and start to, you know, take pride in it because of what it actually consists of. Okay, you know, like I said, this isn't about elimination. This isn't about a quick fix. And if that's what you're looking for, and then I think there was a miscommunication at some point, because this truly is not at all what I'm about or what like this is about. You know, I know that this is preventative. Like drinking Shakeology every day or eating Shakeology every day is medicine to me. Like, it is preventing, you know, things that down the line that I know can be prevented with actual good nutrition and diet, not diet, but you know, taking care of yourself. So I kind of just wanted to like run through that with you, and I know it took up a lot of your time to go through those slides, but like I said, get curious. You know, get curious in a good way. You know, if you can start to make that shift of thinking of this as, food is fuel, and wanting, putting your money where it's worth. Like, I don't go through the Dunkin' drive-thru every day anymore. I don't just go run to Wegmans and grab like a kombucha and any random protein bar for my lunch anymore. Like, I take pride in prepping my food. I take pride in, like, drinking Shakeology and, fueling myself properly so I can get the results that I want, that I can live a happy and healthy life and not just, be going from like one ailment to the next. Like, I don't get sick anymore, and I don't, like, I don't have to deal with a lot of the things that I used to deal with, and I was going, and I feel like many of us can relate to that. I don't know if any of you deal with IBS or anything like that, but I know that's a really big one that, many people dealing with IBS have been able to come off their medications because of drinking Shakeology. So I just want you guys, I wanted to share that with you because I guess I just wanted to answer that question that many of us all ask ourselves in the beginning, or if when it comes to finances, like, guys, like, I'm right there with you. I have been, trying to pay off my debt ever since before I started this. Like, money does not grow on trees. I totally get that. But my point is I put my money where it's worth. I spend my money on things that are going to serve me and are of value to me, and either to my life or to my health and wellness. Like, I don't just throw money at anything anymore. So if any of you, I think most of you are all either you joined as coaches for the discount, which is awesome. That's exactly what I did when I joined. But if not, if you are a customer or whatever, know that option of switching to a discount coach is there for you. Just if anything, just for the discount on the superfoods, because I wholeheartedly know that any little bit of savings helps, and that definitely is an option. And if you're not a coach for some reason, which like I said, I think most of you are, just talk to your upline and they can put you in the right direction, and that sign up fee can be waived because most of you, I think, all signed up with a challenge pack. The other thing I just wanted to touch on before I let you guys go, I know it's getting late, is the fact that, don't be afraid to talk about this to your friends. Don't be afraid to talk about this to your family. Like, I told my mom that she needed to drink Shakeology, because she's been dealing with her own health issues for the past, year and a half. She's been dealing with Lyme disease. She's also hypothyroid. Like, I know my parents like made a shift with their own diet, in order, because my father had high cholesterol and all these things. And now the both of them, I actually know that my father has started drinking Shakeology with my mom, which is super cute, and I'm just super happy about it because I know it's going to help them. And like sharing, just don't be afraid to invite those people that you care most about to know what you're doing, to know what's helping you, to know, like, that they could have access to this too. They could do these workouts too. Because I think many, especially older people of our parents' age, or even just in general, we get so stuck in thinking that we have to do things a certain way, when no, you can do things your way. You can do things around that work for you, around your schedule, and you can start small and build up to bigger changes. Like, there is nothing like I always say, right out the gate, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So you can't just overhaul your life in 30 days, but you can make some really solid changes in 30 days. And those 30 days turn into 60 days, and those 60 days turn into, 90 days. And then before you know it, this is your life. It becomes a part of you. And that's kind of just what I wanted to share with you guys, is that, Shakeology was like the catalyst that caused an overall shift in my life, to the point where now, like, it's just of my mindset that, like, I would rather eat well than, like, I ate kind of like crap most of this week, and it's just not worth it to me. You know what I mean? Like, I know how good it feels to eat good and to feel good, and that is just where my focus is now. So I hope this was of useful information to you guys. I hope this answered some questions for you guys, if any of you have ever wondered. I hope you learned some facts. I'm sorry, I should have made like a freaking PowerPoint with all those slides. I know they're super small, but you know, I hope you got my point. I hope you got my drift. Like, you're getting what you're paying for and so much more. And I just want you to know, like, you know, next time you drink your Shakeology or you scoop out your Shakeology, look at the freaking back of the bag. Like, just look at it. Or, you know, do some research for yourself just to see, like, what pride and what effort goes into making it, into, you know, getting you those things that, like, you know, yes, there's, you know, the FDA allows a certain amount of artificial sweeteners in things. And, like, most people would take advantage of that. Beachbody doesn't. Beachbody doesn't, like, it goes through its own standards where it doesn't allow those artificial sweeteners and things to make its way into their product. You know, they take pride in, like, you know, having, like, the sugar source and the everything coming from, like, the best quality that there is. So that makes me feel good about what I'm consuming, and I hope it makes you feel good about what you're consuming, and just take a little bit more pride in it, because, you know, you're worth it. Your health is not anything to mess with. And I think, like I said, most of us can really attest to that, especially from what we see every day, or people that we know that suffer with, you know, health issues or diabetes or anything like that. That it's just not something to mess around with. Don't consume something that isn't going to be of value to you. You know, just take more pride in it. So, with that said, that's my spiel. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope this was of use. And I thank you so much for hopping on this call. Like, this makes my night. I'm so happy. Please let me know. You can message me and let me know, like, what you thought of it. You know, or anything that you guys want to hear in the future. I'm definitely always open to hearing what you guys want to hear about. So I hope you have a good night. Bye, guys.